All right, guys, welcome. I'm back. I was gone last week, but welcome back to Xceleration Fitness Podcast number
19.
Yes, you just told me 2 seconds ago. And
I already forgot to, but it's all good. It's number 19.
We have a very special guest, as always, this week, guys. This one is definitely special. This guy's coming off another huge win, his 5th state title in a row for the Lowell Red Arrows. But I'm going to try to introduce this guy. He's going to talk a little bit about himself. I'm going to shut up. But to give you guys a little insight on who this guy is, his name is John Kargbo, Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer at Addix, which if you guys watched, I posted on Facebook last night, the commercial for Addix, which, man, I'm getting a lot of compliments on. This guy produced this commercial. Addix is one of the biggest clothing line companies not only Michigan, but the Midwest, America. I mean, they're all over the schools. The MHSA has is it kind of specific deal with Addix, John? Am I right?
We're the official custom uniform partner of the MHSA and actually the AIA in Arizona. So
Arizona too.
Yeah,
damn.
so
That's big.
And like I said before, he is a member of the 5-time defending state champions at the Lowell wrestling team. He's an MSU Spartan. He's your friendly neighborhood Kargbo. And more importantly, guys, John, I first met John when I was wrestling at Michigan State, my true freshman year. And since then, John's always been a huge mentor of mine, a big brother. He's always that guy, the college days. When I think back to the early memories of John, it's just always me doing something stupid, and then John just showing up, be like, "Hey, Ben, what are you doing?" Like the perfect time, he's always there to save my ass. But very, very happy to have him, man. He's like a brother to me. So this is going to be a lot of fun. As usual, guys, we're going to ask him some questions so you guys can really get to know who John Kargbo is.
Well, thanks, guys. I'm excited to be on.
Yeah, man. How you doing? How's things going, dude? How's it feel to be a 5-time state champ?
It's pretty incredible, actually. We just try to do the best we can collectively as a coaching staff. I coach with your older brother, RJ. It's one of my best friends. I guess we just approach every season, try to be the best team that we possibly can be, and try to get our kids to just go out there and let it fly. And this year they showed up in a big way again. So, we're already thinking about how to try and get back there next year. Funny enough.
You gotta be.
5 state titles in a row. What's it like after the 5th one? Like, I got to ask this. It's still fun, right?
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. The first, you were there for the one where we kind of got over the hump against St. John's. And then the next year, there was a lot of pressure. Our mentor, Dave Dean, left, so it was our first year without having his leadership. So we felt a ton of pressure to get that one, to win that championship, because our team was pretty tough. And now it's like we have a kind of chip on our shoulder, because it's like we have a bullseye on our back. And I don't know if personally I have a preference either way. It's always fun to chase somebody. It's kind of fun to be chased, and to have those expectations to go out and get it done for not only us, it's for our community. So
that's awesome. How do you get the kids to kind of relay that message to them so they don't get complacent with, some of these kids, they're been on the team 3 years, they've got 3 state championships. So how do you keep them from kind of becoming complacent with that?
In our program, we win state championships, but state championships are a byproduct of what you do every day. And we constantly, every day, we talk about our motto is never yield, never retreat, never surrender, never yield. And so every day reminding them, it's not really about what you have done, it's about what you're doing right now. And that's, it translates into success. If you wake up and do the right things every day and you win every day, and you're working as hard as you can every day, when you go out to perform, you're confident that you're going to be able to get the job done. And that's kind of been our approach, and it's worked for 5 years straight.
5 straight?
I think so. So let's really get into the brain. And for the listeners out there, I know we got some moms, I know we got some dads, and we got some athletes, kind of all around general population. Hopefully you guys can tune into what this guy does, how he approaches his day, how he approaches business, how he approaches the sport of wrestling, just because I think a lot of things he'll say today you guys can pick up and take with you no matter what you're doing. So, John, you want to kick off with question number 1?
So these questions, we've got a series of questions. I just want you to kind of answer with, first things that pop into your head. All right. So number 1, what is a book or books that you've given away most as a gift, or you recommend the most to people?
I listen to a ton of audiobooks. one that I really like, actually recently, it's called Never Split the Difference. It's by Chris Voss. He's a former FBI hostage negotiator.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Talks about he talks about negotiations and the approach to business, but in the book he explains like every single thing that you do in life, every interaction you have with someone, you're actually in a negotiation. Like getting your kid to go to sleep, you know. And one of the great analogies he uses is the book, and Ben, you'll appreciate this because you have a toddler. It's like when you want to leave and your kid won't come, and you just go, all right, well, we're leaving. Your kid's like, no, wait for me. They finally, like come chasing after you. So that one is awesome.
The takeaway method?
Yeah. So that one's great. And then the other one I give, it's really for business in the marketing world. It's Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Talks about, like Apple. When you look at Apple, their brand image and everything that they do, you are crystal clear on who they are and what they do and the products that they come out with. And, that's a great one, I think, for wrestling, for your wrestling brand, for our kids. Like, what's our brand? It's never you. You're Addix is personified purpose. So that's another one that I give away.
That's awesome, man. I had two things on that. The first book you said about negotiation, I was on the phone with John one time, and his daughter was like, I want the phone, or I want this, I want that. He said, no, you don't get that candy. You want that candy? All right, do 5 push-ups. His daughter, how old is your daughter?
She's 2. She'll be 3 in a class.
And she did them. She
That's
really
awesome. I love it.
Yeah. And then when it comes to your starting with why and like your brand and all that kind of stuff, I think this captures everything. We did 7 hours of filming for a 45-second commercial, and John had to get it just right. So that's like just saying how, yeah, those books are working.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2, John. What is a purchase of $100 or less that you are absolutely loving right now?
So I'm actually, funny you mentioned it, I'm pissed because I left it at the other office, but it's called a Hydrate Spark water bottle. So I get going in my day and I have it was like $40. I have a difficult time drinking the amount of water that I should up until I got this water bottle. So what it does, it syncs to your phone as Bluetooth. And if you're behind on your water intake, it will blink at you on your desk. There's a lot of light that beeps at you, and you also get a notification on your phone. So prior to getting this water bottle, I was probably only drinking like 64, 70 ounces a day. And I want to get, I obviously want to get to a gallon. Ben's always preaching that. But since I've had it, I haven't had a day with less than 100 ounces.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So
I think that might be a new gym recommendation here.
No, that's going to be actually if you're listening to this podcast right now and you leave us a review of 5 stars, I'm going to find you and I'm going to send you a Spark bottle.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. I think I might have shot myself. Actually,
Hey.
let me recap that because I
might wanna look at it.
Just so you know, I'm sharing this on our social media so you can.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to see this. All right. The best review that I get, the most unique review that I get. All right.
There we go. That
There
was
you
better.
go.
All right. Next question. So how has failure, or maybe an apparent failure, kind of set you up for a later success in, anything from business, athletics, or just life in general?
This is a tough one. I don't know if I can. I mean, I've faced a lot in life, a lot. When it comes to just life in general, and kind of getting dealt a bad hand. And I had a friend that said, you never really use that as a crutch. And I think that, a lot of times we have tough times in our life, or, you face some kind of adversity, no matter what it is. And we use it as an excuse for not being successful, or for not getting a paper done because you were tired because you had to work. If you're a college kid or a high school kid, or, feeling sorry for yourself because your girlfriend broke up with you, so you don't wrestle very well, or, and I think, I've been blessed, even though I've had some hardships, to be surrounded with some incredible people, like Ben and his brother RJ, Dave Dean, Noel Dean, the people I work with, Ryan Henderson. It's, I think failure or adversity has taught me to approach life and just appreciate the small things, appreciate the fact that I can get in a car and drive into work and do the job that I do. Appreciate the fact that I'm on a 5-time state championship wrestling program, a part of that coaching staff. I tell, I was just talking with Max Dean, who's at Cornell. I just said, just be happy that you get to tie your shoes and wrestle in March at the NCAA championships, and don't worry about winning and losing. Because none of that stuff really matters at the end of the day. So, I think it's the adversity I guess I've faced in life has just changed my mindset with approaching business and life, is just to compete the best that I possibly can, and then not worry about all the trivial things, the accolades, and everything else that might come. So I don't know. Long way to get to that answer, but
that's good. That's good stuff.
That's really good. If you could have a gigantic billboard, let's say it's in downtown Grand Rapids, what are you going to put on it?
Is this for me to tell everybody? Or
this is John Kargbo. I mean, it could be John Kargbo, the coach, John Kargbo Addix, but it's John Kargbo. You're leaving your billboard.
You may beat me, but you're going to have to bleed to do it.
I like it.
So Steve Prefontaine, the great runner, that was his quote, and he, hey, kind of talking about, I guess we're talking a lot about competing, I don't really, at the end of the day, someone's going to be better at you at some point, right? But
yeah.
You're always going to feel good if you put your best foot forward. So if I'm giving a sales presentation, I'm going to give the best sales presentation. And if I lose, I know I gave the best one and I'll learn from it. So, but I'm not handing you anything.
And to beat you in a sales presentation, you got to bleed.
Hit him with a chair or something.
I like that one a lot.
All right, next question. So what is one of the best or most worthwhile investments? And it doesn't have to be, monetary. It could be time, education, anything like that.
Absolute 100% hands down is the investment coaching. I think I've been coaching for a decade. And, there's not anything. I kind of understand why my coaches did it. There's nothing more rewarding than being a part in developing a young person and then seeing them go on to be successful. It's more fun for me to watch kids that I've coached be successful. It was funny when I was a lot younger. I was coaching at Hazlitt, and there was a kid that was like, "Coach, one day we're gonna have a beer." And I said, "I'm not having a beer with you until you graduate with a master's degree." And I was driving down 28th Street, and I get a call from Anthony Burns, and he's like, "Hey, I'm in Grand Rapids. I want my beer."
No way.
And he says, "Yeah, I just passed my CPA exam, so I want my beer."
Holy Jesus.
So it's like we had a streak at Hazlitt where not a single kid that graduated from the program didn't go on to college or the military and graduate.
Not a single kid?
Not one single kid that graduated from the program did not complete college or graduate. And I think I was at Hazlitt for, I think I was 19, and I think I left 5 or 6 years after that.
Wow, that's awesome.
I think it says a lot about your coaching.
That's
man.
cool.
That's legacy right there.
Nothing more rewarding. Like, it's just so incredible to see the type of people that I grow up and be in. So,
kind of like your boy Gabe Dean.
Yeah, great example.
Mm-hmm.
He's really humble, hardworking, approaches wrestling the right way, approaches life the right way. Does everything that you want, like your son, to do.
Mm-hmm. I love it, man.
Cool.
All right, dude. What's an unusual habit of John Kargbo?
So my wife would get a kick out of this. I like to just go, like, if you were to ask me if it's Saturday afternoon and we're not doing anything, I just want to go. I'll just go sit in the shower, turn on the hot shower, and I meditate and think about whatever. But
how long are we talking here?
Well, that's actually my hot water heater in my house goes 28 minutes before the water gets cold.
Knows the exact time. I love it. Timed out. 28 minutes of meditation.
Yeah. So
that's funny. All right. In the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, maybe it's a habit that you've implemented has, most positively impacted your life in general?
Last 5 years, new habit. I don't know. I think without that one, you know what? I will say this. When you have children, your perspective changes. And I think prior to having Cadence as my youngest, I don't know that I really understood like what your purpose is in life. And then after you have kids, it kind of brings clarity. And so I guess habitually just understanding that I'm living whatever I'm doing for her and for Kinsley and next generation. So I've kind of, I guess, a habit. I've changed my approach to life. You know,
that's good.
So how has that habit to change your approach with, say, business?
Became a lot. Took more risks, but because we want to pay off. Actually, Ryan is our CEO here, and his daughter's 3 weeks younger than mine. But you know, there's a whole new, different type of motivation when you are trying to live for your kids. You know, it was okay to just kind of, you know, it'll come when it comes, and now it's like, no, we got to go get it. And we got to go get it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to chase
touch on that a little bit, because how long have you been with Addix? And you give us a little insight on the story with Addix and where it came from.
All right. So Sports Addict was founded by Ryan Henderson and Cale Showalter in a barn, they were in a basement, actually, their parents' basement up north in Mount Pleasant. From there, they went to Rochester, Michigan, and they were just wrestling addicts, and they were trying to do everything. They were two young guys that entrepreneurs. They were just, they were just doing T-shirts. They were doing video. They wanted to do everything.
When would have this been, like, time period wise?
This is it was founded in 2006.
Okay.
And it's founded in 2006. So I think probably I want to say 2010 or 2011 there.
I remember them going around to tournaments and whatnot.
Then they went to the barn, the Showalter barn up in Wynn, Michigan. And that's when so that's kind of where I entered the story. My first Flat River Wrestling order, not first, my second Flat River Wrestling order, our wrestling club here I did with them was for some shorts and fight shorts and some dry fit T-shirts. And I got it and I was like, oh, this is cool. And at this time I was working at Sprint as a business sales guy. And I'm talking with Dave Dean, who I've mentioned before. He's like, John, I feel like you just don't see yourself as a Sprint guy. You want to do something else, kind of want to do your own thing. I'm like, yeah, I do. So he introduced me to Ryan and Cale. We met at Bagger Dave's, and there were 5 of them. Ryan and Cale, his 2 brothers, and Jared Whaley, or maybe 6. And then, so they're like, we bring you in and you can be an inside sales manager for us. And I'm like, that sounds good. I'll do that and I'll run my wrestling club. And then, so I moved to Grand Rapids, and this is 2013. There's 7 of us. So we're supposed to have our wrestling room on one half of this remodeled bar for Flat River, and then Addix on the other half. Well, around October, we have so many orders coming in. There's boxes in where the wrestling room is supposed to be. So it's pretty obvious this isn't going to work. And then, so fast forward to like 2015, there's 16 to 20 of us.
Wow.
I'd probably be off on my timeline. Yeah, I think 20 of us. And then now today, 73 employees full time. We moved from that old bar. It was 4,000 square feet into a 10,000 square foot building here, and we outgrew it already. Don't even have enough office space for sales and marketing people. Emerged from just being a wrestling-based company to having over 14 product lines. We have accounts in all 50 states. So it happened pretty fast.
Yeah.
We blinked and woke up, and it was we blinked and we're here.
Wow, man.
That's
so
cool.
You went from Rochester, Michigan, all the way to every single state in the nation.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And it's all out of a barn still. I mean, it's one building. It's crazy. Just
to give you an example right now, like this weekend, we have because we do on-site retail as well. We have 3 different events in 3 different states. We got a team in South Carolina. We got a team in New York. We got a team in Michigan. It's crazy.
That's cool.
Good for you guys, man. It's an awesome story. Is it me or you?
You. Yeah. Hey.
Oh. Ooh, it's a good one, dude. What advice would you give to a recent college graduate? He's driven. He's ready to go. What advice you got for him?
Make your own path. And nothing, don't expect to be handed anything because you have a college degree. make your own path and be ready to work, but lean on your education. And if you graduate from a 4-year degree, 2-year degree, especially people that have 4-year degrees, you can teach yourself anything. When you go to school, I mean, your degree is really you taking a set of information and being given a set amount of time to learn it, and then being tested on it to demonstrate that you've learned it. You can teach yourself anything. People ask me all the time, like, how do you know so much about Facebook marketing? How do you know so much about, how'd you learn about branding? Or how'd you learn about product lines? Or how'd you learn about whatever? It's all teach yourself.
And what's your degree, John?
My degree's in clinical laboratory science.
Clinical laboratory science. And you're one of the biggest marketing companies out there.
So, yeah, it's a perfect example. I love chemistry. I love that too. But,
Did you ever think of going to be like a chemistry teacher or staying in education or?
No, I did. You have to do some time at Sparrow as part of the degree, so to practice. But no, I was in the lab and like trying to talk about the weekend, and the personalities just didn't fit. It's like, we're running this test, John. We can't talk about it. I'm like, all right, I got to do something else. This isn't working.
I got you. All right. Ben ran off, but that's all right. We'll keep going. All right. So what are some maybe bad recommendations or bad advice that you hear, in your profession or area expertise? And with that, you could go with coaching, wrestling, athletics, business, whatever you want. Like, what's something you hear and you just cringe? You're like, oh, why are they saying that?
Well, I'll give you one from athletics, like coaches, or like I see parents yelling at their kids and they just talk because they lost. I'm like, it's not about that. Just stop. Like, I hear coaches yelling at their kid. I'm just like, it's one thing to yell at them because they didn't give their best effort. Like, I'll get into a kid if I feel like because he's shortchanging himself or, but it's not about winning and losing. It's painful to hear that stuff. You're teaching them the wrong lessons, and they're not going to perform well because now they're carrying all this anxiety about just making you happy. And it's not about you if you're a coach. It is not about you if you're a coach. And if you're coaching and it is about you, well, in my opinion, you're not a very good coach, I guess. That's my opinion. In business, I've worked places where you can tell that management just feels like everyone's just a number, and they kind of force people into they don't appreciate their people, And so one of the things that we try to do so much here is it's a team, and we try to appreciate one another. And anybody that asks me, I'll stack our manufacturing team up against any team in the entire world. The stuff that they do is insane. A coach will forget to order a jersey, and they'll call you at 5 a.m. and then they'll make the replacement uniform and drive it up to them 3 hours away. And you just don't. That doesn't happen in this. Yeah. That's not normal stuff, And everybody, our whole organization, people. They say people are replaceable, but you really shouldn't approach business that way. You should always be trying to coach and mentor the same way that you do on your team. Get the most out of your team and appreciate people. So. Segment, I guess.
I like it. Oh, it's me?
Yeah.
All right. We have 2 more questions, man. You doing good?
Yeah, I am.
In the last 5 years, what have you become better at saying no to?
Anything that takes away from my end game. So, again, having kids, and there are so many times when someone's like, hey, do you want to come out and grab a burger and hang out? And I'm like, no. I want to get this ad up on Facebook so that the sales guys have leads coming in, or a lot of times there's a free downtime in the evening and I could play video games or I could get ahead on the next project. And we have a lofty goal, my wife and I, we want to be able to retire at 50. And not necessarily that we will, but we want to be able to retire at 50 and watch our kids do everything. Whatever they're doing. So, anything that's detracting from that, I try to stay away from and stay focused on the task at hand.
What's the latest example you got?
Of a distraction?
Yeah, like turning down a distraction.
Well, there's this guy that wants to do wrestling mindset. And, there was a time 5 years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, sure, I'll do that too. In addition to coaching wrestling and working at Addix and trying to make sure I stay in shape. Like, no. I only have time. You have a finite amount of time. Time is the most valuable commodity. And you have to say no to those things. It would be awesome to do that, but I can't. It doesn't fit. So
that's awesome, man. I think that goes. I'm gonna tie it into fitness real quick here because it goes right hand in hand with it. Because if you could say no to a lot of things, not restricting yourself socially like that, but like there's so much information out there. There's so many diets, so many things you could be doing, like dabbling in all these different things. But if you find like what's really working for you and you stay in that lane and keep going, great results are gonna happen.
Absolutely. I mean, I love your workouts, Ben. One of the reasons I love them is because I can get a lot of work done in a short amount of time. You see so many people at the gym, and it's like you've been here for an hour and 30 minutes, and you don't have a sweat. I go into the Y, drop my kids off, go downstairs, get changed, get a warm up in, do a workout, and leave. And I'm like, I see these people there on the elliptical or whatever, and I kind of wonder, like, how do you have so much time in your life?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But if you ask them, they're busy as hell. They can't work out. No, man, they don't got time for that.
No, yeah, well.
Anyways.
Yeah. So next question. So when you feel maybe overwhelmed or just kind of, worn down, what is your go-to? It could be, meditation or just, Netflix chill, whatever it is.
Oh, I got a couple things. The shower,
There we go.
One, if I feel like overwhelmed or, sometimes you just get into a mode where you feel like you're grinding and you're just like, man, what am I doing? I just think about why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's really for my wife, for my kids, and the people around me too. There are people that depend on, no matter what you're doing, there are people that depend on you. And I think if you can make it, sometimes you can't get motivation. It's tough to motivate yourself day in and day out, 365 days a year. But just think about the people that you're doing what you do for, and I'll, something else I do, it's relaxing. This is, I guess, kind of another weird thing, but I love Lord of the Rings. So I feel like I'm stressed, I'll just pop in Lord of the Rings.
Those are like 3-hour movies, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, they're all like 3.5 hours, man. They're great, though. For me, I just pop it in and just watch them. No,
that's cool because I think what I just started this week, and I think maybe, John, you said you read audiobooks. Do you ever read fiction?
Actually, I haven't in probably like a year and a half. I do. I read The Lord of the Rings, but not on audiobooks recently. I've been using it more to educate myself about different business practices and things recently, but not that I won't go back to it.
Yeah. I just did it for the first time because Tim Ferriss and a lot of successful people talk about reading fiction. I'm like, man, who's got time for that? But what you just said about Lord of the Rings, it like takes your mind somewhere else and you like get into your imagination mode, you get to your creative mode.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So I think Lord of the Rings goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah, to try that out. I hadn't thought about it, I guess, but
that's awesome.
There we go.
Now we're gonna have some fun, John Kargbo. You ready, dude? This is a freaking this is the fire round, dude. All right, we're gonna start off really easy. You just gotta answer off the hip like you have been. But here we go. What is your best Dave Dean story?
Oh man. Oh shoot. Okay, here's one. He's gonna like this. So he was doing this wrestling tournament, this Aegon tournament in Flint. I don't know if this is the best one because there's so many, but David's these crazy ideas. So he's like, I want to have Santa Claus because it's around Christmas time. And he comes into the wrestling room and he wouldn't let this go for like 3 days. He's like, Kargbo, you're going to be Black Santa. I'm not doing that. It's like, come on, I got a hat. This big zip thing, man, in the wrestling room. That was
great idea, Dave Dean. That's awesome.
He was dead serious though. He was like, up until like the day before, I was gonna be his Santa Claus.
It'd be a good tournament, man. I'd love that.
So that's a funny one. I got some other ones, but
Okay.
All right. So if you could be in any 90s music group as a performer, who would you be? What group would it be? Singer, group, whatever.
Dude, I'd be an NWA.
Hey, there we go. Eighth person to say that. There we go.
Man knows I love Dr. Dre, man. I would definitely be an NWA.
I said the same thing, just so you know. All right, who is your childhood crush, actress-wise?
Stacey Dash.
What's she in?
Clueless.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good one.
All right, favorite movie?
Ooh.
Besides Lord of the Rings, because we already kind of hit that. But
yeah. So outside of Lord of the Rings, boy, there's a lot of them. The Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith stars in it. It's one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites.
Biggie or Tupac?
Tupac.
Easy enough. All right.
Okay. All right. Does pineapple go on pizza?
Absolutely.
As a child, what did you get in trouble the most for?
Staying out too late at the park playing basketball.
Okay. Basketball player turned wrestler.
Well, yeah, but I was supposed to be home before dark, and I never came home before dark.
Okay. All right. What was the first concert you ever went to?
Shoot. I want to say it was Lil Wayne.
Really?
There we go.
Where was it at?
At, what's that place out by you?
Joe Louis.
Pine Knob?
Yeah, it's Pine Knob.
It was outside. It was Pine Knob.
Okay.
What was your favorite clothing item as a kid? Let's go middle school.
Middle school, same one it is today, sweatpants. But they were my brothers, but they were Sexton sweatpants. They were red ones.
Uh-huh.
I think they were his. I don't know why I got him, man, to be honest with you. I used to steal his clothes all the time, so.
Okay. If someone was to make a movie about your life, who would play you?
Sean Patrick Thomas.
What? I don't know who that is. Sean Patrick Thomas.
Because the guy from Save the Last Dance. So people always like him too, but I'm like, I think he'd do a good job.
Okay.
I think he's in Barbershop too.
Yeah, I know him now. He's in a lot.
Yeah.
We'll do this one, and we got one with your phone. Do you have your phone with you?
I do. All
right, so John will do that one. I'm going to do this one. What's a favorite song from your teenage years that you still rock out to today?
It's Tupac, California Love.
Okay, that's a good one.
There we go.
I still rock out.
All right, go ahead and pull out your phone.
Okay.
So go to a text message in your keyboard, but the emojis.
Okay.
Then you're looking at the far left column, reading down. These are the most frequently used. So the far left column down.
Far left column down?
Yep.
It's the smiley face where you go like this.
Okay.
That's funny. Oh, wait, that's not it. That's wrong. Far left, frequently used, it's the laughing out loud crying face.
Okay. Keep going down.
Just to go all the way down. There should be 5.
Oh, okay. There's this one.
Okay. The okay sound.
There's the straight line face. Celebration, like the confetti. And then the prayer.
Thank you. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
No crazy ones. Pretty normal.
Crazy ones. Pretty normal, but he's been celebrating, man. He's won a fifth state title.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, John. Hey, thanks for this podcast, man. Thanks for your time. Where can people, number one, get some cool Addix gear? Number two, where can people follow you?
If you want to get Addix gear, just go to www.addixgear.com. There's a contact button there. You can also just send me an email, john@sportsaddix.com. One of our team members will work with you. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, @Tricepticon. It's a funny story behind that. I didn't pick it. We were all sitting around the table when Twitter came out, and everyone was picking each other's. So
okay, who picked yours?
My buddy Quasey.
Okay,
Quasey picked that one. You know Quasey, so he did that. And I'm not really big on Instagram, but I think it's the same, pretty much the same on Instagram. You can also follow Addix Gear on Twitter too.
Yep. Cool. And I just posted the video from Addix Gear, so you can follow him there too, guys.
Ben's a great actor.
Yeah. All right, John. Hey, thanks for your time, man. We're going to post this on iTunes. Again, leave that review if you want that Spark water bottle. We'll see you guys next
Top
week.
one, though. Not everybody.
The best guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a
man.
good